and I'd like to start my presentation with a paraphrase from Walt Disney. If you can dream it, you can do it. That gives us all hope for the future. A little bit about who I am. I've taught for over 40 years, 25 at Mountain View before coming to Northlake. I teach management and marketing. I have a husband at home, 2 grown children. My son lives in Puerto Rico, and my daughter and her family live in Nacogdoches, Texas. My mantra now is to make a positive difference where I'm needed or where I'm asked. I hope with today's session, we will be able to bring something hopeful to all of you. For business, attaining sustainability has become imperative. Investors expect it, consumers want it, and government is regulating it. In other words, derive profits in business not from creating the world's problems, but from solving the world's problems. Business can be reimagined to meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Business leaders must have the courage to set the targets needed. Instead of creating problems, leaders need to fix them. Here are 10 reasons to be hopeful about business. Dallas ISD has 18 designated P-TECH campuses. P-TECH stands for Pathways in Technology. These campuses would not be possible without business partners such as American Airlines and PepsiCo adopting a high school. Business managers and employees take an active role on the campus working with school administrators to show students the world of work through site visits, job shadowing, career panels, guest speaking, mentorships, and student internships. It was just announced that 11 Dallas ISD schools have earned the College Success Award Gold for their track records of preparing students for college. Dallas College has agreements with each of them to provide early college high school classes. Microsoft employees, volunteers visited global higher education institutions to assess needs, contribute to curriculum development, and create faculty development institutes. The result was a partnership to align and integrate Microsoft's technical skills programs and credentials to help address the growing talent gap. The skills programs help students prepare for the jobs of tomorrow with in-demand technologies in fields like artificial intelligence, computer science, cybersecurity, and data science. Toyota introduced the Prius over 2 decades ago. It was the first in Toyota's hybrid lineup. Other car companies licensed the technology. Today, the car industry is undergoing a radical transformation, with most car makers, including Toyota, agreeing the next 10 years will bring more change than the 2 previous decades. Automakers are preparing to phase out cars powered solely by internal combustion engines and replacing them with battery-powered electrical propulsion. From gas to electricity, electric vehicles are coming, and we are on the right track regarding decarbonizing the transport sector. Next, cars and trucks and buses will become self-driving or more self-driving, from human-driven to artificial intelligence sensor-driven. This graphic is from McKinsey showing city transportation. Cities account for more than half the world's population, and transportation accounts for about 1/3 of global carbon dioxide emissions. The mobility landscape will change the way people and goods move. Traffic-induced noise and pollution, and limited availability of space in urban areas will give way to integrated mobility solutions. Again, this graphic is from McKinsey and shows how electrifying public transit can solve more than just climate problems. It can clean the air and reduce traffic jams. Unilever has over 400 brand names in over 190 countries, changing the lives of people. They are changing lives by running the largest hand washing program in the world, touching 500 million people. Small actions can make a big difference. Selling a bar of soap can save lives. Paul Pullman, former CEO of Unilever, believes there's a better way of doing business, one that embraces all stakeholders, not just stockholders, and improves the environment. He co-founded the consultancy Imagine to further sustainable goals, and he shares his advice for the next generation of leaders in his new book, Net Positive: How Courageous Companies Thrive by Giving More Than They Take. Ourware by Our Cup is a reusable to-go container system. Ourware collects the used containers each day and brings them to a third-party wash hub, where they are washed and sanitized before being returned to the restaurant to begin the cycle again. Igloo's EcoCool line is made from recycled plastics. The first production run kept more than 116,000 pounds of yogurt cups and milk jugs from being tossed into landfills. The Dandelion Energy geothermal heating and cooling system uses the ground under your home to provide renewable, clean, hyper-efficient heating and cooling. By using the consistent cool temperature of the earth, geothermal heats your home in the winter and can dump the excess heat from your home to the ground in the summer. It uses a powerful heat pump and safe underground pipes that move heat between the earth and the home. In the winter, the ground loops move heat stored in the ground into the home. In the summer, the ground loops return heat from the home to the ground. Kimberly-Clark's Right Cycle program helped the Dallas Zoo turn 1,000 pounds of waste into outdoor seating and eco-responsible planters. Right Cycle is taking on major global issue: what to do with all that personal protective equipment, PPE, used worldwide in the COVID-19 pandemic and other uses. Instead of the used PPE ending up in landfills, the Right Cycle program is turning these previously hard to recycle items such as gloves, safety glasses, and protective clothing into new consumer goods. H&M, the world's second largest clothing retailer, has developed a garment-to-garment recycling machine that disassembles and assembles old clothes into new ones. Loop is the world's first in-store recycling system. At an H&M store in Stockholm, customers can watch the container-sized machine recycle their old textiles into something new. An unwanted garment is fed into the machine, cleaned, shredded, and spun into yarn. After about 5 hours, a new knitted garment is made from the piece. The system uses no water and no chemicals, thus having a significantly lower environmental impact than producing garments from scratch. Grubhub, the delivery company, is using food delivery robots across 250 colleges in the U.S. right now. The six-wheeled robots, about the size of a suitcase, are autonomous and can navigate pavements, pedestrian areas, and places inaccessible to cars. They can operate in the dark and moderate snow and rain. When the delivery robot is near its destination, the customer receives a Grubhub app notification with the robot's location. Once the robot arrives, the customer uses the app to open a hatch and collect the food. The robot then moves on to its next delivery. Grubhub expects the technology to deliver cost savings both for the company and for the consumers by charging a lower service fee than for a human delivery. Successful businesses are creating products and services that are good for the economy, equity, and the environment. These 10 examples offer hope and the assurance that business is leading the way to a more sustainable future. We saw that businesses are being proactive in influencing the local educational system, energy conservation, and public health. When businesses understand the impacts of their actions and take the initiative to solve problems, that gives us hope for the future.